Welcome in, everyone. Congrats to Alex on first and Devin on second. So I have a bunch of these like smaller sets. So we're gonna do two of these today, and then I don't know what. Um, you know, we'll do the things. I'm gonna do this one first. So this one shows that it's supposed to go with like the Great Hall, but I'm not sure exactly how. Because where they show it is like where the table is. Like, would you have to take the table completely out to get that in? There we go. That did not want to come out. Oh. So hopefully everybody's weekend went well. Okay, no pieces inside, or no more bags inside. Just because it has 3 bags, it's only like 150 pieces or something. Yeah, 158. So it's the dueling club, I think they call it. Yeah, it's the dueling club. I figured we didn't need digital instructions for, what time is it? Um, I did sleep till like 11 on Sunday morning, and then I got up and was up for the rest of the day. But I still like feel tired from that. Like, even though I've slept pretty normal the last 2 nights, I'm still like, I don't know if that was such a fantastic idea. Oh no, what happened, Alex? Okay. I think that's enough to make our peoples here. Of course, they have the double faces. His cousin on his father's side is in his class, and I don't. Oh, and you can't like. I'm guessing it's like only one class per grade level, so it's not like you could just ask for him to be in a different class. Come on. I knew that was not going to go in. Here's Harry Potter and his dueling, and I'm pretty sure this is yeah, Malfoy. I thought that's who it was, but I was like, well, just double check. Come on. There we go. Oop. So here's our minifigures, which we know won't stand up because, what they're holding is heavier than they are. So we'll just set them off to the side here. I'm sorry about that. I know you said Joe was liking that school. Yeah. Yeah, I completely understand that. So no stickers came flying out. So hopefully, um, there's no stickers in this set that I missed. You didn't even use the snake? Or was it just supposed to be with somebody? Oh, I guess it was just like a with them. Ooh. We did go out to eat last night because it was our anniversary. So we went out without the kids because we only went, like, the restaurant was like literally 10 minutes from the house, if that. And and they're fine. You know, they got pizza and stayed home. Um but we got to the restaurant because it's you know, like hibachi, you know, they do the little like show while they cook it. Thank you. So there's only two of us, so you know, of course, they wait till more people get to the station. You know, they can seat more people there. And like, we purposely didn't take the kids, and then of course the other people who joined the table had like four kids. I was like, really? I was like, of all the times we've been there, we very rarely wound up like seated with other people who had kids when we took our own. The one time we don't take our kids, we wind up seated with like four others, which I know is like not something we can control at all. It was just a little like a little bit of a bummer, especially since they were all like really young kids. I was like, okay, we're just gonna deal with it. Got Snip. I think Snape had two faces. Yeah, Snape had two faces too. It was like just like an ironic coincidence. So since we did the big thing over the weekend and finished the Riverside Scholars, plus did the Great Hall, you know, during those time, during the stream, I am just gonna do kind of like small sets this week with some crafting. Oh, I forgot. Did I vote for the other? I think I voted. So Carrot put the other two, or he put the three polls up in the craft along for like one of them was for a subject, so like a pumpkin, a leaf, skeleton, whatever, and then the other poll is for an adjective, which is like haunted, colorful, frosty. There's more there, but that kind of thing. And the third poll was for a color, and the one that means the most out of each category, you know, and then it'll be like colorful, pumpkin, green, whatever, like, and so like chopped, but for crafting. I'm not explaining that, or I feel like I'm not explaining that well. So, like, you can make whatever craft you want out of whatever, like, type of craft you want, but you want it to have, like, those three things, and then it kind of, like, chopped, but for crafting. I know that doesn't necessarily make sense, I think, the way I'm explaining it. But if you want to join the craft along, it is in the Stolen Carrots Discord, which is, you know, Stealing Carrots Discord. But I can invite you to it, or I can get you the link for it. The idea is for it to be in October, obviously. Crazy got the steamboat when we were at the Lego store, and then I ordered Hogsmeade Village. So oh, I think it's supposed to work like kind of like that. Like it'll move. Okay, let's set that aside. And do it again! Helps if I'm looking for the right colors. Like the piece and the right color, because I was not. Looking for the right type of piece, but the wrong color. And that won't really work. So it was cool yesterday, and it's supposed to be cool today and tomorrow, but then like Thursday they want it back up into the mid-90s. So we're not gonna have like cool weather for like another month and a half, 2 months. I need to look for a pumpkin patch near us. The boy child loves like corn mazes and pumpkin patches. Okay. So they're gonna kind of move. So I guess as they get up there, you can move them. Like, cast. Cast. Ah! I don't know. So over on like that end of my bookshelves, not really bookshelves, my shelving for the Legos, I have a bunch of like Like the Halloween, 31 Days of Halloween I did last year, and then like the Christmas ones I did the same kind of like 24 Days of Christmas sets. But they're all just kind of sitting there, and I think I need to like put them away in a little Tupperware thing to open up that space so I can have it to put more finished Lego sets. And the Great Hall, I think, needs to go on a top shelf, which, you know, is precious space. But I do have a little bit that I can move off the top. Oh, then his cape, and this is oh, I know who it is. The book guy who like lied all about himself. Yeah, Godric. Gilderoy Lockhart. Like, I could picture him in my head, but I could not, for the life of me, think of his name. It's like it's right there on the tip of my tongue, but not. He's the fraud. You know, he didn't do any of those things he said he did. So technically, next Monday is the boy's birthday. No, next Sunday. It's Sunday. Yes. Sorry, my brain is not working. Because I was like, our anniversary was Monday, and that makes his birthday Sunday, like the following week. But, I still know what to do with him, so I don't know what we're going to do. When I asked him what he wanted to do for his birthday, all he told me was, I like going to the jump places, but I can't. And then that was it. And I was like, okay, well, I know you can't do that right now, but that's also not what I asked. It's not very helpful. And then, like, he just didn't say anything else. So I don't know what we're going to do. Our mystery tile is this lady again. Yeah, I don't know. He didn't. He likes, like, a bunch of stuff, but also it's like all stuff that he really isn't supposed to do until he gets his knees fixed, which I know seems like it's like such an absurd thing because like he basically shouldn't do anything that could cause it to dislocate again, which is for him anything but walking. Like he wasn't even allowed to like do some of the water, like go into the like pool aquatic centers. He wasn't allowed to do the like slides for a while because they wanted to make sure that muscle around the knee was built up, because just even like twisting funny could cause it to dislocate. So like until he was done with physical therapy, he wasn't even allowed to do that. He could go to the pool, but he couldn't like do the slides. All he could do was like walk around the lazy river, which they said was good because it was like aqua aerobics, you know, like it was strengthening his knee too, but he wasn't even allowed to do like that stuff. So he's allowed to do that now, but I don't know. There's a bunch of like places where you can go and like play video games like Dave and Buster's or things like that. You can have like pizza and eat and play video games. I shouldn't say like, well, it is. I mean, it's a type of video games, but more like arcade games. Oh, I see it in the middle now. So I looked at a couple of those, and then like I asked him if he wanted to go to the zoo or something, and he was like, no. I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry, my brain just like died in the middle of that. But yeah. So I don't know what he wants. Keep wanting to reach over there for the bucket, but that's not the extras bucket. That's just the bucket with the brick tack stuff in it. So you're supposed to be able to like, oh, there we go. Okay. I was trying to like pull out. It's only push. So then it like knocks Malfoy off, or opposite, pops Harry off like the spell was so strong it knocked him over, which is kind of cool. Will it show me how it's supposed to fit? Of course not. It just shows, sorry, here's the dueling set, that it's supposed to slide in here. So I guess that's it. They want you to take all the tables and stuff out and then slide that in. How long do the doctors think it will be? Ideally they want to wait to do the knee surgeries, or do them both at the same time, till he's done growing. But his endocrinologist is only worried that he doesn't weigh as much as he should for his height. But I worry just more, like, some kids are skinny. I mean, God, look at Carrot, you know? Like, some kids are just skinny and tall. So he's not particularly tall for, I mean, he's actually like very short for his age, but I think he's not that underweight for his height. I'm more worried about the fact that he wears size 10 to 12 pants and he's about to be 15. Like, he is vastly smaller than most 15-year-olds. And they don't seem to be worried about that, but they do seem to be worried about his weight, which I would worry more about his weight. Like, if he started to grow but he still wasn't gaining weight, then I would worry. Well, so the thing is, what they're worried about is that if he like does an activity and it dislocates his knee again, they won't be able to wait. They'll have to do the knee surgery. And if they adjust too much, then it could affect how he grows. Like, because they have to essentially go in and put an artificial piece of bone underneath to mimic the bone he's missing. But also the likelihood that they would adjust the ligaments and tendons around it and like make them a little tighter because they've been stretched because of how much his kneecaps move around. But then if they do that too much, it won't allow him to grow properly. So the idea is to wait until it is pretty much done growing and then do the double knee surgery. Like operate on both knees at the same time because he has the same issue on both knees. He's missing the little like V part underneath his kneecap to stop it from coming off. So if he dislocates now, they'll have to fix it now and then likely again at least one more time, possibly multiple more times as he grows. So they're trying to minimize the number of times he has to have surgery. And they said with some, not every, so it's like anything, there's a sliding scale. So some kids who have this issue, they don't have to be as strict with because their knees don't dislocate as easily. But literally all he did was he had his foot planted and he turned the top half of his body and it slid off. And then he just put it back on by barely touching it. Right. They're really just like, it is somewhat genetic because his sister has it too. Just with her elbow, different than her leg. And she doesn't, I don't want to say she didn't have it as bad. I think it's just because it's a different type of joint. Where hers is that the cup, like the bottom part of your arm up into your elbow, right? Like is a cup. And the cup isn't quite deep enough to hold the top in. But it's only an issue once it's dislocated, then it doesn't want to stay in anymore. And eventually they want to go in and deepen that cup, but because hers has been staying in, they've just kind of let it go because it's been years since it popped out. That being said, she says she can feel like when she goes to extend her arm sometimes, it feels like it's going to pop out. And so she doesn't extend it all the way very often because she's afraid it's going to pop out of the socket. We'll set these guys in the middle. So it's weird. The longer they can wait to do the surgery would be optimum to give him time to grow and be closer to the max height he's gonna be. I think he goes back in November. I know she goes back in January. Sorry. I'm trying to check now. What? Verification for what? I don't know what that is. Let's see. He goes back in the beginning of November to his endocrinologist, and he doesn't see his ortho until they can do something. Like, there's no point for him going back every 6 months just for them to show up, them look at him, go, still good? Still waiting? Okay, go home. Like, so he doesn't really go back to them, to his ortho until we have more solid answers, you know, that the ortho can make plans off of. So he'll go back in the beginning of November to his endocrinologist. And I will be annoyed with them and tell them that I am annoyed. And then we'll see what they'll do. Tell them that I'm frustrated, that, you know, like, there's not any real answers, and that, you know, it isn't just about him growing so much as that, you know, he can't do anything until he grows so that he can get these knee surgeries. Yeah, my mom's house, where we would have cold tea, like little picnic picks, but eaten inside, then mom would take. Yeah, so we used to have just like a big party and invite like all the kids from like their play group and like kids in the neighborhood. And then as they got older, it was, you can pick, do you want to have an experience and only a small gift? Or do you want to have like a party with presents and a slightly bigger gift? You know, like one or the other. This one is Fox. And look, a baby fox. So one year Addison picked a place close to here. It was like an animal refuge place, but when we went there, it wasn't very big and there wasn't actually very much there. So she wound up getting a gift on top of, you know, like a bigger gift on top of it instead of just a small gift. But he did. So Bass Pro Shops is like a big store here. They sell all kinds of like hunting and fishing and just all that kind of outdoorsy stuff. And their like main store in Missouri has an aquarium and like a museum attached to it. It was a pretty big aquarium for like thinking it's inside like a store technically. So we went and spent the night in a hotel and then did the museum and stuff all the next day and then came home, and that was his gift one year. Like he got like a couple souvenirs and stuff like while we were there, and but like the trip itself was the gift. And then last year Fantasy had a potato bar party, so she had a baked potato bar and like all the toppings and like cupcakes, and a couple of her friends came over, and that's what she did for her birthday, so she got a bigger gift. Because it was just a small party, but that's what she wanted. And she wants the same thing again this year. So we already know what she wants. Gift wise, I kind of know what he would like. That new Hollow Knight Silk Road or whatever it is came out. Welcome in, Danny. We're just doing tiny sets and then 2 tiny sets and then crafts, and I've already finished a tiny set because it was only like 150 pieces. If we went somewhere, that would be like the tiny gift that went with it because it's only like $20. But if we don't, like, I have semi recovered. I'm pretty sure my body's still not happy with me, but I am alive. I don't know that I will ever do a continuous 24 hours again. It will be like stop the timer, start the timer. That was, I don't know, much harder than I thought it would be. Probably because I hit this lull like in the middle of the night where there's not really a lot of people on. And then what do you do? That looks straight. Nothing falls apart. I hope you all had a good weekend, good beginning of the week. Sorry, I'm like, what do you want me to put the brick on? How? Um, so yeah, you could have just had me do that all in one step. Um, but yeah. So I don't know what he wants to do. I have been looking up like different things online that I think he'll like, but we'll see what he actually likes. He doesn't really like the virtual reality, mostly because a lot of the places we have gone that have had virtual reality, the helmet or whatever like never fits him and it just kind of like presses down. Um he's just not a fan of them. And I've like we've gone other places like zoos and stuff where they've had like the thing you sit in and like the whole thing moves with you and he definitely doesn't like that. Where did you go, you silly little piece? Yeah, he's like, no thanks. Yeah, because the ones that where they like just put the helmet on you, even when they like tighten it as much as they can, it doesn't seem to fit him very well. And then so it just kind of like presses down. The place we went last year for his birthday had a it was like a jump place, but they also had like go-karts and virtual reality and stuff like that. And sorry, I'm like, oh, in the middle, not on the end. I gotta figure out where. Oh, it's shot right there. Um, and he tried the virtual reality once while we were there, and then was like, "Nah, I don't like that," and he didn't do it again. How am I supposed to attach this, sir? Okay, yes, yes, yes. Oh, this way. I'm trying to go the opposite direction. I'm trying to put that side. Yeah, that's why that doesn't work. I will figure out something. I just don't know what it is yet, which is like counterproductive to how I usually try to am. Like, especially with their parties and stuff, I have planned way in advance, but not this year. He is getting to that wonderful typical teenager phase where like one word answers and whatnot. Not all the time, because they're both generally not like that all the time. But on occasion, you're like, that's not really an answer. That's a word. Which I get a single word can be an answer, but in this case, it's not. Have you asked if he actually wants to do something? Yeah, like I've asked, I was like, do you want to do something? Like, do you want to go where? Like, do you want to find a zoo? Do you want to do this or that? Or do you just want, like, to eat out and have, like, a little cake for your birthday? And that's the only answer he gave me was, like, well, I want to go to the jump place, but I can't. It's a little like asking, what do you want for dinner? And he's saying, not hamburgers. That's great. But I didn't ask what you don't want. I asked what you want. So this is the, I guess we never put anything back there. Nope. Yeah, it was just, yeah, this is what I want to do, but I can't. Like, it's great, but I need to know, like, I know that's what you want to do too, and you can't, but that doesn't help us plan something. I'll look up a couple more things. Like sometimes I type in like generic things into Google, like water park, indoor water parks near me or this or that near me, to kind of get like an idea. He's like the last two like cave places we've gone where you like walk through the cave. And I know there's a couple more within not like too crazy of a distance. So maybe he'll want to do another one of those. Yeah, like I feel for you that this is what you would prefer to do, but you can't. But that doesn't help, like it doesn't help what's currently is. Yeah. It's the same way. Like I feel for you, but I wish I could just take, because I think we spent less than or just at $100 when we did the jump zone place last year. So it was like 4 people for like an all day. Literally, you could have got there when they opened and left when they closed. You had all day. It wasn't like you only got 2 hours or something. And then we got like a pizza, 2 drinks, and it was like every activity in the place. So it was like the max package you could buy. We didn't do it as like a birthday party because it was just the 4 of us. But like it was like a max family package thing. And so they could do all the jumping they wanted, all the go-karts they wanted, all the virtual reality they wanted, and there was some like climby walls. And they could do all of it as much as they wanted. And we stayed there most of the day. Um and like I said, it was right at $100 ish, and then he got like a small gift to go with it. I would love nothing more than it to be that simple as buying that package again, and you could spend all day doing whatever you wanted. But it's not, and we both know it. So what would you like to do? Like I need actual input. But like I said, he liked the last 2 caves we went to, and I know there's a couple more, not like not like so far that you would have to do like a hotel for 2 nights. Maybe one night, but maybe not even that. Um that aren't like, you know what I mean? So maybe I'll bring up doing another one of those. Oh, they don't talk to each other. They just sit 2 feet from each other and never communicate. It's just her going, "You're really loud." He does have an academic activity this Friday, which I looked at the 2 closest to us, and I was like, oh, well, that's an excuse to go up into that area. It's about an hour from the house. But then I looked and it's like, it's still in that area, but at like a different part in that area than we normally go to. So it's actually like an hour and a half away. And being that I have to be home to pick up Fantasy from school, I decided that was probably like too far. So the other one is still about 45 minutes from the house, but that's because you're going into the city instead of further away from the city. So it's just traffic in the highway that makes it 45 minutes. Um so he'll get to go to Barnes and Noble again this Friday. He went last Friday, 2 Fridays ago, I don't know, something like that. And he'll enjoy that. So did I put them on the wrong end? No. That's right, but something's not right. Sorry. Something's not right. Oh, I see. I missed a step. So when we went to the Lego store a couple weeks ago, I mentioned to it while we were there, like, if you don't want to party and like you don't want to go anywhere, you can get like a bigger Lego set while we're here, and I'll just hold it over to your party, like till your actual birthday and give it to you then. And he like looked around and then was like, nah. I was like, okay, so you don't want that either. He does have two smaller Lego sets. He's got the was it the Hello Kitty where like the Oriental for like the Chinese New Year they did that cat that's arm moves up and down. He's got that one, and then he has a 3-in-1 where you can build like the axolotl or something, two other things, a flamingo. And he hasn't built them. They're just kind of hanging out there. I was like, are you trying to start a hoarded collection like your father where you just ask for them but then never build them? I pick on Crazy all the time about that. He has like a crazy backlog because he like, for some of them he's had for a while and just like didn't build. Before he like started streaming again. And now they're just slowly getting built, but I tease him about it all the time. He basically just plays on the computer all day, every day. I remember when he was only allowed to have an hour a day, and that was like, normal. Zoroark? I don't know if I said that right. But yeah. So if I could find like an indoor water park place that didn't cost a fortune, or potentially one of those caves, I think he would like that. Snickety snackety time, okie take. Sorry, I'm like, where did I move that? To Build-A-Bear? Oh, no one caught the pokey. So technically, because he'll be 15, he can try to get his permit for like his driver's license, but I think he's going to be like Fantasy and just have no interest in it. We mentioned it to him. We're like, "Oh, you can try to get your permit," and he was like, "I know," and that was the end of that. Some of it is, I think, like he honestly probably doesn't know what he wants to do. Because he's like that a lot. Like you'll mention going somewhere and he's like, no, I don't want to go. And then you make him go and he's like, this is gonna, I'm not gonna have fun or about how long it takes to get there. And then when he's there, he's like, this is the best ever. Okay, I see your Birkenstocks. Ooh, sorry. Got the burpees. It's probably this carbonated water. Okay, that's this step finished for that. I forgot to open my brick tags. That's alright. Oop. I gotta look at it. I know for sure which oh yeah, we did the needle. Oh, that's right, and we started the record. Sorry, I lost the booklet for it, so I just bookmarked the page, or I like downloaded the directions and then bookmarked them. But I keep forgetting like what page I'm on. Okay, so we did that. Okay, now we're on this. My dad has kept the old dead car to fix with my little brother. It is never going to run again. There's an absolute zero chance of that. So my brother-in-law is a pilot, and he's like a serial dater. Like he's never single for very long. Um, but I guess that's neither here nor there. Um, but he'll get a car for a while and then like leave it at my mother-in-law's house, and then a couple years will go by and he'll decide he's not going to use that car anymore, and then he'll get another car. And so he had left this truck at my mother-in-law's house. They call it the Scourge. It's like, I don't know, an F-150, something like that. And last year when Fantasy was like old enough to start getting her driver's license, I mean, she was already 16. But she hadn't gotten her driver's license yet. He was like, he sold it to us for $1 and said then the kids will have a car to drive when they get their driver's license. So technically there is a car that one or both could drive, just neither seems really interested in getting their driver's license. And honestly, with the way people drive, I'm not that upset about it. Like eventually, yeah, they will have to get their driver's license, but Fantasy says, "Where I don't ever go anywhere without mom, so why do I need my driver's license?" And ew, there's people out there. I'm not too terribly surprised that Fantasy doesn't really want to get her driver's license. It is not out of character for her. Anything remotely like scary, she's got no interest in doing. Book talk. Let me think about how to explain the current book I'm reading. Because it is a book, but not in the traditional sense. And I know that makes it sound uber weird. Um, oh, we're gonna have ads in a minute. So the series is called. Oh, let me explain it correctly. What the series is called. So, like, the first book was like Autumnal Stew, and then like Midwinter, and the series is called The Skeleton Crew. So the girl is, I would say gay, not asexual, but maybe asexual, leaning towards lesbian vampire. And her girlfriend is a witch, and like obviously it's very like fantasy fictiony. But there's like a druid, and there's other witches and other creatures that are in the series, and this is kind of like a little a little mix at the end. So they talk about, because it happens in Ireland, and they're near a loch, and so they think that's where the Loch Ness monster lives. So like the first quarter of the book is like these letters that were translated that they found back and forth, and it's really that a fae, a warlock, and a shapeshifter were in a triad couple, and the shifter was named Ness, and she turned into like a serpent type water creature. And so like the there was like this converging war with like the warlocks, and eventually they came for the warlock that was part of their triad, and they used magic to like make it so they couldn't just break down the walls and get inside the castle. But eventually they had to go back to the Sealy court. Oops, the Pokemon has already escaped. I'll wait to explain it until we get back to Matt's. Let me check mark it though. You feel wrong. That's not what I meant to do. But yeah. So, what's this? Whoop, whoop. He's been doing work, so trying to make sure as the assignments come in that they have good grades, and if not, then I go talk to him about. Some of them you can try again. So I got this little. It's not really a game off Steam. It's called Bongo Cat. It's free, and it's a little cat. And every time you like type a button or click or do anything, it adds to the counter. And then when you get reach a certain number, you get new things for your cat. And I'd been looking at it for a while, but Sarcastic Kitten had it like on her stream, and you could join, and then like your cats could be with the other cats and like on the screen. But I don't know how to add it to this screen. Like just the cat, you know? I guess I should message her and ask. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, that does the same thing. Okay. But yeah, so like the first quarter of the book is like these translated letters going back and forth, and you learn about this triad couple and how eventually, because the one is Fae, she can take them back to Fairy, and because of like the looming building war, that's what they decide to do, that it's safest for them all if they just go back to Fairy. Thank you for the I'm here, Danny. Where did I set what I was building down? No, I didn't put it in there. I was like, did I pull a dumb and like stick it in that container? Oh no, we're starting over. We're starting over. I attached this and then we were starting over. Slowly losing my mind. Or not so slowly. Just depends on the day. So this is where we're at with that. Then we go to the next step. And then the second one, yeah, I exist. The second part of the book is male, like two male characters that are going to fall in love. One has a cottage that he wants work done on, and the other is a stonemason who is going to be doing the work. One of them is a lion shifter, and the other is something else. I forget. But yeah, so I've only read like that first quarter of the book, but it's basically more stories about people that exist in the village and like their stories that maybe weren't like part of the original storyline. But Dahlia Donovan is the name of the author, and she writes. I mean, she has a series that's pretty normal. Like it's about footballers, but most of them wind up in a male-male relationship. And then she has another one where they're like security, like it's a security firm, so like cybersecurity and stuff, and they solve mysteries for their clients, issues for their clients. But then the rest of her series, some are supernatural, some are not, but they're almost always about people with autism who are like either gay or asexual. But all her books are very good, no matter what there are some straight couples in the series, like the difference over like all the different series she has, but as someone who is autistic herself, like the author is autistic, she tends to write a lot about that and about like asexual and things like that. Like write what you know. So this book is throwing me off. It is clearly orange in the book. It is not orange here though. It is red. So I keep looking for the wrong color in the pile. I'm like orange, orange, orange. That's not orange. But yeah, that's about it for the book because, like I said, I haven't read very much of it. So I want to do the Nevermore, but I keep going back and forth on if I want to do it on the fabric I bought, because I did not think it would be like that, because like I cannot get it tight in the scroll frame, and I'm afraid to like put it in a hoop and like go to pull it tight and it be like misform the fabric, you know, because it's like really delicate looking fabric, or at least it seems delicate to me. So I don't know if I want to just go by 14 count Aida that I'm used to, or if I just want to keep doing it and just not do the other one that I was planning to use that fabric for. I don't know. Or maybe just do that one off stream and like get another one like sorted and ready to work on stream when I do that. Did I turn more than one page? No, okay. I think I'm just at the point where I don't know what I want to do. Like, there are 10 things I could do, but I don't know which one I want to do the most. Should those be a little more? There we go. That might be slightly better for spacing. No, I guess it is just a smidgen past. That's how they have it. Then we do it again. Again and again and again. But yeah. I don't know. And like the crochet patterns, I know the point is you buy the pattern, you can make it again and again and again. But I don't know. I mean, we could totally make another eyeball, because I don't have 18 of them yet. Sarcastic Kitten is like making the five-headed dragon from D&D, and she's not using a pattern. It's fantastic. I was like, oh my god, you're a genius, because I could never figure out how to do that. And I would just like to thank everyone once again who came and visited, whether you were there for 5 minutes or, you know, there basically the whole time for the streamiversary this weekend. I'm a little like proud and petrified that it has like 320 post live views. Because I know at points in time I was not all that coherent. And something happened, like, in the middle of the night. Like, Twitch, like, it said reconnecting to chat, which happens sometimes. But, like, the stream doesn't start over or whatever. But this time, it was, like, reconnecting. And I was like, reconnecting? And so, I don't know. At some point in the middle of the night, it restarted the stream. So it's not technically one continuous 24-hour. Not that I was not on for continuous 24-hour, but like there was like a spot where it like reconnected and started over. Which, I mean, I guess for Twitch, there's really like no good time to do things that like could possibly make Twitch be twitchy, because it's a 24-hour across the world. So it's always going to affect someone. But so it is technically two streams. Um, and I didn't think about it until like this morning when I was situating stuff for stream today, that I hadn't um exported it to YouTube. So I did that this morning. Oh, and I got an email from YouTube that starting in a couple weeks, my videos are going to be able to be like dubbed in other languages. So people from other countries who speak other languages will get to understand my video. I don't know why it's like, if it's happening to everybody, or if you have to be on like continually posting videos for so long before they like offer it to you slash your viewers. I don't know. All I know is that's what the email said. In a few weeks, it will my videos will be eligible for dubbing in other languages. Not that I have a ton of like followers or anything, or subscribers or whatever they call them on YouTube, but I just figured I would share what little bit the email told me. His head, part of his face. Oh, sure, it should be like this. And I'll be honest, I put my stuff on YouTube, but I have like no real concept of like ever having like massive videos or anything on YouTube. So I mean, let's be real. I don't have any social media attached to my Twitch. It's just basically Twitch and YouTube. Like, and I do like the bare minimum of exports onto YouTube. So I really don't have any social media. At least nothing serious. And I mean, we kind of talked that a little bit about that during the stream. Um, like there's a fair amount of work involved in like having a social media presence like that. It's not as simple as like a tag that says, "Hey, I'm live on Twitch." Like there's more involved. And I'm just not sure if that is for me really. As Alex says, I just can't be arsed. Like, I don't know. I stream and I enjoy the people here and I like getting new followers, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it always invites this element of like people's opinions to the mix. Because for some reason, people on the internet think that they can type slash say whatever they want, and you know, there are no consequences or it doesn't matter to the person on the other end. And I guess to a certain extent, you have to let it not bother you when people don't necessarily, fawn over you. But also, I don't know. A wild pie dove. Surrender what you promised. Look, it's sitting on its little perch. And its head move. Oh, silly camera. You can turn it like this, or you can kind of turn the neck. It's kind of weird when you turn the neck, though. But yeah, I mean, crazy posts like on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. I'm probably going to call it Twitter until I die. Um, but like he'll post like a link like, "Hey, I'm live on Twitter," and then I think maybe one other place. I don't know, but I don't even really do that. I think he might post like on Facebook like, "Hey, I'm live. Here's the link." I don't see a piece that looks like that. Oh, wait there. Yeah, that's right. I think this is the sword. The Gryffindor sword. Okay. Trying to keep all these like on the bottom where you won't really notice them. So the Gryffindor sword. Then we're going to make a sorting hat. With that thing. Oh, it even has a face. It's a sorting hat. Then we're gonna make a baby phoenix. Nope. Eyeball, that's not where I wanted you. I guess that works. It's a baby phoenix. So, maybe baby phoenix goes down here. So here's a better picture. So like, this is the Great Hall which we built, right? And then it's gonna attach to the main tower. And so like, the Great Hall, the main tower, then the flying lesson. Like, so these two combine to make this, but then you can add all these other little sets like into it. Like, we added the boathouse onto the Great Hall already, and the Owlery just seems to kind of stand behind it. That's what it looks like on the picture anyway. But then you can put other ones like underneath. Swap them out essentially. Can we make it hold the oh, I can. Look, Denny's holding the Gryffindor sword. And we just have the. So we did that one, and we did the dueling. So you can like push forward, and it makes the other person like fall off. And then you just, pop it back on. And then I just clipped these on here so we wouldn't lose them. But this little fireplace goes with it. So that's what we built today. And then the plan was to do whatever craft afterwards. let me find a place to put these so that there is room to do things, other things. Oh, I dropped a snake. I'll find him later. Oh no, there he is. He wasn't hard to find. I plan to try to go to IKEA sometime in the next couple weeks and get another single tower and put over there and put like the Christmas stuff on it. And that'll free up more room on the other end to put things. Not a ton, but some room. And we have to reorganize our shed in the back a little bit. And then there's some stuff over here that needs to get like taken out to the shed. What do we want to do? Let's see, I don't want games, but I do want that kind of thing. I'm trying to think. Of colors I have that will like work for a pattern. Um, if you guys want, do I have enough of that? I guess we can do some of the cross stitch. Hit the right buttons and things open. Or work the way they're supposed to. Let's change this to makers and crafting. Is it because I'm trying to... Oh, it's because I didn't do the and symbol. I'd put and. So cross stitch. Did I spell that right? I did. So I found... Let's see. Could have swore I hearted something she had so it would be like easier to find her again. But it looks like I didn't. It's like we'll do crochet. So I found this lady, and I kind of want a bunch of her patterns too. Look, you can make s'mores. And look at these little cauldrons. Or the big cauldron. In fact, they actually open up and you can put candy inside them. They actually have like an inside and you can put... Right, like, isn't that adorable? Comes with pot of gold modification, so you can make it for February for, you know, St. Patty's Day. And then she's got stacking pumpkins so they're the same. You can actually put candies inside them. And look at the frosted cookie. Isn't it adorable? Watermelon or candy corn. They got birthday cakes, telephones. I want all her patterns now too. But anyway, you know my obsession with things. Let's see, oh, it helps if I spell crochet cookie. I know Steele did a cookie, like she had made some, but I don't know where she got the pattern from. But yeah. So I got a little bit further on the Nevermore. Sorry. I worked a little bit more, so I have most of this R down into, like, this is very near the tail of the R, and then this is like the little line that kind of comes from the end. But I feel like that the X's aren't nearly as symmetrical as like some of the other fabric. Like, because this is kind of like the weave moves really easy. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me being like uber sensitive because it's the first time I've like really used this fabric. Or, you know, maybe it really is not always the best. I don't know. And maybe it's just this brand of this count. I keep coming back to I don't know because that is true. Thank you. Okay, so what I'm saying only kind of half makes sense unless you've cross-stitched before. So this is 30, no, this is 28 count because the pattern calls for 30, but I couldn't find 30 on the Michaels website. So, like, I'm trying to show like how you can't even get like the computer to, or the camera to really recognize it. But those are the holes, like the weave of this fabric. So normally, sorry, I'm like, how do I show / explain? So this is like 16 count, Ada, I think. It's either 14 or 16. But see the difference in the like weave of the pattern of the fabric? The holes are very defined on this one. And I feel like on this other one, it's very like, yeah, this is where the piece is going to be, like the piece of string to create the lines of holes. And on this one, you can tell, you could just go like here to here, right? And that's an X. But on this, you kind of skip a hole, like skip a space and go over. So you're your X is over a bigger space, but it's basically the same size as this spacing because it's like a looser weave. But I'm afraid to put it in a hoop and make it tighter because you can see like around some of it how it like pulling. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me being like super nervous because it is the first time I've kind of used this type of fabric, this count of fabric. Like maybe it's completely fine and normal, but I'm just freaking out for no reason. That's common. I love the freaking out for no reason. It's kind of my go-to. But welcome in, Dusa. I hope you had a great weekend. Oh, let's... Okay. Like, I'm afraid to put it in a hoop and, like, make it tighter because of how, like, kind of loose the weave is. I don't want to mess it up. So, nope, one didn't quite get in the right spot. I'm going to finish the couple stitches that's left of this tail so I don't have to keep, like, skipping a bunch of space. But, But I've been much more, like, slow with the sewing with the on this project because I'm afraid of like messing up the fabric itself by like undoing. So I've been trying to be like slower and more sure of myself. One more. Okay. I had planned with this fabric I bought to do two different sorry, I'm like, what's the best for this? Two different designs. This one and then like a submarine gingerbread house thing. But I don't know. I think I might just go back to like 14 count for the other one. Put a little bloop on that, so I did it. I mean, this one is all just black thread. So I don't have to worry about like really getting things together. No, it's for Poe. I have an obsession with Edgar Allan Poe. Um, Welcome back, Alex. I hope you had a good phone call with your family. No, I just like Edgar Allan Poe. When I lived in Virginia, for my birthday, the one year we were there, we went to the Poe Museum, and it was a really interesting museum. Like, they have, so here's my nerd. He was buried there in Virginia, but later I figured that's what you meant, that you started season 2 of Wednesday. Like, they kind of did like half a season, and then a couple weeks later they put out the second half. So yeah, like some people waited to just watch it all at once. I did like the half and the half, but I've already finished the second half, but I won't spoil anything for you. Um so he was buried there in Virginia when he originally died. And later he was dug up and moved to his now burial place in Baltimore. But they had, like, when they dug the original, okay, to explain, um Edgar Allan Poe, his uncle was actually like his next of kin because his parents had passed by the time he passed. But his uncle didn't like how he was earning his money and how he was living, so he basically cut him off and had nothing to do with him. So when he died, he basically refused to pay for a funeral. So he was pretty much buried in a pauper's grave. Like the very basic casket that they put somebody who had no money in. And he was buried. Later, the Poe Society had him dug up and then moved to that big one in Baltimore, like reburied with the big headstone, whole 9 yards. So in the Poe Museum there in Virginia, they have pieces of his original casket, like wood from the box he was originally buried in. They have like pieces of his clothes that he drowned in. They have the actual staircase from his childhood home, his actual bed that he laid in as a child. Like all kinds of his stuff. But also there's a courtyard like in the middle of the museum, and they took ivy clippings from his mother's grave and replant, like started a new plant to grow, so all the ivy trailing all around the inside of this courtyard is actually ivy from his mother's grave. Let me see if I can find pictures. I'll show you guys. It's not like I have any kind of pressing anything. I know that sounds bad, but you guys know what I mean. Like, I don't have a plan. I'm not trying to get something done, per se. Give me a minute to find them, because it was several years ago that we went. Okay. Yeah, it was really, I mean, like super interesting, but only if you're really a little weird and really interested in Poe. And I am. I'm a little weirdo who likes Poe. Sorry, it's like, slowly going back through Google Photos. You're like, I have no idea where anything was. Nope, we must be getting semi-close. Oh, here it is. Okay. Um Okay, so like this is the outside of the building. They had like people could come. They hired like different street artists to like spray paint these things. Hey. And then this was all about um this guy James Carling. These are his takes on like illustrations for The Raven, like the story The Raven. Like he read it and then these were like his interpretations of like different illustrations that might go along with the story. And then this is pictures of some of the garden, but see all this ivy all around, that's all from his mother's grave. Like started from like a single clipping from his mother's grave. I might have to flip flop back and forth because the kids are in some of these pictures, and obviously I'm trying not to show their face on on the oh no, go back. Okay, and then somebody had did this. Like people do different things and sometimes they just donate them to the museum there, or sometimes the museum hires people to do different artist rendering type things. But here's one. And then this is Poe's bust. And then this is a fountain that's in the middle of the courtyard. This is his original headstone from where he was originally buried, like in that kind of like more pauper-ish grave. And this is a replica of the headstone that's in Baltimore. So in Baltimore, there's this much more elaborate headstone, more elaborate grave, whole thing. But this is like a duplicate of how the one in Baltimore looks. And that's a statue of Poe. This is what his original casket looked like that he was originally buried in. So you could like stand in it and see how you fared like comparatively to size. Which, let's be clear, I don't even come up to this man's shoulders. Like maybe mid chest. Okay, I have to go back because the next two are the Dos Minions. And then there's Crazy. Smushing himself to fit. He was like, oh my god, I can't fit. I don't know. Okay, let me go back and see. Okay, there's only a couple more, and none of the minions are in the next couple, so. But this was his childhood bed. Like how tiny it is. And then another bust of Poe. But yeah, it's not overly large, but it is a nice museum. Yeah, I was like, come on, stand in the casket. And he's like, squeeze myself in there. But they do all different kind of events there at the Poe Museum there in Virginia. Let me try to look it up for you guys. I say try like I can't or it's hard, but you know what I mean. It's in Richmond, Virginia. So here's a better like view of the courtyard. So the Poe Association, Memorial Association, was founded in 1906. No, he did ease himself back out of there. But so that's like the original building where the Poe Museum is now, but it's been like altered and stuff. And then this is the Poe Shrine where I showed you the up close of this bust. And then this is the garden there. And all this ivy, like I said, is from his mother's grave. Like they took a single clipping and then replanted it, and it's grown like all over the courtyard now. And they have, you know, two cats. They're like Edgar and Poe or something like that. Yeah, the Poe Cat Museum or Poe Museum Cats. They just showed up in the garden one day, and so they kept them. And so they have like this was his like pocket knife. But they have like some of his original manuscripts, first editions, pieces of his clothing and possessions, stuff from his homes, different pictures of him, different busts and like statues and stuff. But it's in Richmond, Virginia. It's funny, our group of friends were like, "Hey, your birthday passed. What did you do?" I went to the Poe Museum, and they're like, "Huh?" And I was like, "You heard me. I'm weird. I went to the Edgar Allan Poe Museum cuz I did." And like the only little bit of sports trivia I know is that the Baltimore Ravens, the sports team, has three Ravens, and they're named Edgar Allan and Poe. That's like the only bit of sports trivia I know. And it can only loosely be called sports trivia at that. Oop, we're gonna have ads in about 30 seconds. They will go for 3 minutes, and then we will be good for another hour. Being that it's Tuesday, it'll be our last set of ads because bus stop or bus lane. So I hope you stick around. If not, I understand. I'm wondering if I should enlarge this just a smidgen more. Like, I enlarged the photo a little bit in Paint, but I'm wondering if I should make it bigger still. Or maybe if it's just that, like, I should switch what's on what monitor, and that might make it easier. Because I am trying to have it, like, on my secondary monitor, like, further away from me. That helped a lot. Who knew? Just, putting it in front of you instead of to the side. Who would have dared thought that would change things? Let's see if the boy is in a class right now. Welcome in, Kevin. I was just checking on the boys' classroom, like, schedule. Okay. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. Thank you for the work, Elurk. Okay. Eventually, I will figure out what I'm attempting to do here. Okay, so 3 passed. Okay, 1 more, and then we gotta adjust how many we're doing. I was like, let's turn this use this ring light a little bit more, and then you guys can see better, and I can see better. Everybody wins, right? At least for a minute. But yeah. So I bought I went on Amazon and I just kind of typed in like spooky cross stitcher or something like that. And there was one that popped up, and I like, for some reason, a lot of times on Amazon, like when you're trying to buy a craft book, whether it's got crochet patterns, cross stitch patterns, knitting, they often don't have very many like pictures of what like the inside of the book looks like. So I try to use the reviews. Um, and then like just Google the book and see if somewhere else has like better pictures of what the patterns look like, right? Like, because I don't know if I'm going to like the patterns in it until I know what the patterns, at least some of them look like. Um, so I found, at least a couple pictures of what the patterns should look like. So I bought it, like the digital copy, and and I really liked them. Once I got, saw the others, I was like, oh yes, I love these. So now I have a whole bunch of spooky cross stitches to do. There were a couple bookmarks in there, which I thought was kind of cool. But I wanted to, I was excited to do this Nevermore one. And I'm still excited. I'm just also kind of nervous because this fabric is a little nerve wracking, but we're just going to roll with it. Will I be mildly upset if I do all this and then it turns out not great or whatever? Yes, but live and learn. Okay. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very good. And this one's 3. Like I said, it could just be like this brand is maybe not as good. Like it's on the cheaper side. I don't know. Um I've never worked with like this count of cloth before, so oh no, I didn't. Well, yes, but no. Yes, I did want to go down, but not like then to the side. There we go. Um, let's. I can see if I can. Well, I did kind of show you guys. Um, I'll try to get better, like pictures, like screenshots of the patterns in there, and I'll throw the pictures in Discord, and you guys can peruse them and you know decide which one we do. Because I think I'm gonna switch to like only working on this particular one off stream because I clearly stitch much slower doing it. Um, and I'm not sure how exciting that is for you guys. And then just post like update photos in Discord. And I can show you guys like progress on stream, but I don't know if I'm gonna really work on this one on stream very much. but I'll make sure I have like the right floss colors to do like a couple different ones. Yeah. But I found this on Steam. I had it on I don't know. I just kept looking at it and then cuz it's free. And then I was like, "Nah, I don't know. What does that really do?" And then when I was in Sarcastic Kittens the other day, her stream, she has it. It's called Bongo Cat. And essentially every time you click type whatever, um this little cat like pop and like bongos. And every like when the count gets so high like 1,000 or something like that, you get a new cat or a new accessory or something. And you know, just a silly little thing at the hangs out at the bottom of your screen. And I was like, "Oh, that's so fun." But also, you can make like host what's the word? I want to look. You can host like create a lobby essentially and invite other people so then on your screen you'll see their cats too. And like as the cats change, you know, it'll be funny. Um, you know, you see the little differences. But I don't know how to get it to be like part of my stream. So I'm gonna have to message the Sarcastic Kitten and ask how she did it. Because it's just this little tiny thing. And I thought like if I added when I do web browsing, does it pop up? Let's see. No, I can't put it on the other screen, so no. Yeah, I don't know. Um, but it's just this little cat thing. And I was like, oh, that'd be so cool. Then when people are in the stream, you know, they can share their bongo cat. But like I said, I can't figure out how to get it to be on my screen like she did. So I will message her and ask. Sorry, we're getting towards the edge here and it's like, nope, I don't want to be easy to hold anymore. Mainly because, like I said, I'm too kind of afraid to pull it too tight, and I thought this would be better, but apparently not. And I don't know if it's something like I don't have because this is tight, so maybe it's just like that I need to adjust like the middle on one of these poles. Let's try that. Right? She should have Bongo Cat on her bongo stream. There we go. Jesus, I was like, come off, and it still doesn't want to knock this out. So I don't know what it is. If maybe I just need to like make this center part of this like, you know, tension wise. See how the center's not quite... So maybe that? Let's try that. Is it 100%? Most definitely not. But we're going to try the thing. Yeah, like, does the cat do anything? Not really. It is literally like a cat who basically plays bongo on the bottom of your screen. Like, every time you type or click or anything, it adds, like, 1 to the counter. And then, you know, you get stuff. Sorry, this is a horrible, like, theme for you guys, but I'm trying to get... Am I not in the right space? Let's see. Maybe I'm not... Oh, that's it. It wasn't quite at the right spot. Okay, so that's a little better. It's not nearly as loose in the middle. I mean, it's still a little loose, but not nearly as much as it was. That's better. Like I said, not perfect, but better than it was. Now I still have to figure out how to hold it. Because like I said, we're getting near the edge. And that's where my hand was. Like, I have the first cat I got, or I should say the first skin for a cat I got made it look like a strawberry, and then it had a little strawberry leaf for a hat. And then I got a blue skin for cat and a white skin for cat, and currently it's green with a little black bow, so you know it's a Halloween kitty. But it is super cute. Let me get you guys the link for the... Like I said, it's free. But this way you guys at least kind of know what I'm talking about. I'm not just like, yeah, it's a cat. It's a cat. But you can play with up to 100 friends. And literally just anytime you type something, it like boop, 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 boop on its little bar. And if you do download it and you do want to join my little lobby I made, that's the code for the lobby. And then you'll see my little kitty with your little kitty. But like, I guess they just recently, like within the last couple months-ish, made it like that you can play multiplayer, that you can play with friends. Basically that you can see your friends' cats. Look at my kitty cats. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it in frame, but also know what I'm doing. It's questionable that I know what I'm doing on a good day, on a normal day, but... But, so as far as cross-stitching, I also got some dark gray Aida and some black Aida for, like, different projects that are in the book I bought, so... So we'll have another one next month for Crafttober in Carrot's Stolen Discord. Like another project that I'll attempt to do a little bit on stream with each time. But I really did not have a plan for after, you know, little Lego sets today. So I was like, well, this is easy. It's already on the hoop, and it's just black. and you can watch me struggle bus it. Because who doesn't enjoy watching somebody else struggle bus so that you don't feel like you're literally the only one who struggle buses? Don't worry, I struggle bus all the time. Please, can you send me the link to the eyeballs? I was telling everyone about them early and she's very interested. Yes, I will send you the link to the pattern of the eyeballs. I'll send it the link to her website, but every now and again it's good to like cost compare to her Etsy page because sometimes the ones on Etsy are on sale. So like, just like a quick, check essentially. Let me patterns. Copy. Are we friends on Steam, Dusa? That's the yeah, like struggle bus. I live in a perpetual state of struggle bus. I don't know that we're friends on things. So I will like how do we do this? Add friend, copy code. I will whisper you my code, my friend code on Steam. You know what I mean, Twitch. On like Twitch, I will whisper you my friended code. I thought so too. I was like, I did see Dusa maybe, and then I looked at my friends list, and it was like, no, you don't have a friend. No problem, Alex. Like I said, when you go to Etsy, if you just type that croutons crochet, it'll bring up like her patterns on there too, and you can like double check the pricing. You know, because if there's a deal on even if it's only a couple pennies on Etsy, why not take advantage? Because it all adds up. No problem, Alex. I'll always share where I find things because it's not like I came up with it. Okay. They're actually really easy as long as you can get like the magic circle started, which we all know was Carrot's biggest issue. I will say they're not continuous rounds. They're like connected rounds. So what I found best is when you have your last stitch and then you connect it with a slip stitch and then chain one. What I found best was that last stitch when I had like the loop that you start with and put it through and then pull through and then you wrap it around to complete the stitch. That's where I did the color change. So I had the two loops on the hook Then I put the new color as like the over and pull through. So that way when I did the slip stitch and chain one, it was already the new color. And that's how I found it made so you didn't really notice the color change in like the eyeball. I don't know if that made any sense at all. They usually call it the magic ring. To be honest, I say magic circle, but they often call it the magic ring, which I mean, either way, I feel like it set you up for some like weird stuff that's about to happen. True. True. I mean, like, look what I did. Everybody come learn how to do it. Everybody do it with me. I would share. I would share even if I did come up with it. It's true. I really would. Yeah, a lot of the patterns say magic ring, but I just call it magic circle because my brain doesn't want to acknowledge like the word ring for some reason. It just wants to say circle. And honestly, the magic ring, like, yeah, true. We just call it the butthole now. That's a probably not the most appropriate thing to call it, but that's what we call it. So no, I wanted to loosen this side. Give myself a little bit more room. Come on, there we go. Yeah, it's the butthole. Okay. Carrot will never live that down. All Carrot can make is snowman butthole. Nope, that was the wrong hole. That's what she said. So this is not news to anybody. I say it a lot. I love to listen to like the Reddit stories, you know. They're like, "Am I the asshole?" or they're just complaining or whatever. But some of them I was like, "Really? People cannot be this dumb." And then they are. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Like I heard one the other day. This guy was a couple years older than the girl, but not like drastically crazy. So, you know what I'm talking about. He wasn't 65 dating a 22-year-old. Um, but he had an affair, and his affair partner got pregnant with twins and then died in childbirth along with one of the twins. But he thought the simple, fantastic solution was just like, I'll bring this baby home. We'll turn your home office that you work out of, because you work from home, into a nursery, and you can just raise this baby like it isn't somebody else's. Like, I didn't go and sleep with somebody else and have this baby and then just bring it home like a bouquet of flowers. Then he couldn't understand why maybe she didn't want to raise this baby. One guy was mad because his girlfriend knitted or crocheted too much. Like when they were trying to watch TV, like he was trying to watch a movie with her and she's crocheting or knitting whatever while the movie is playing. And he's like, it's absurd. She won't like give me her full attention while we're watching the movie. Like, I guess, but I don't see it as a valid concern. Oh, we're almost done. Technically, so this was the down from the R, and technically this other string is all the way over there from like the N, but it makes like a little under, because it's fancy writing. It makes it like a little under thing all the way over. I do like the malicious compliance ones too. They are very fun to listen to. I like the ones when they're like, my boss, who I've been basically doing their job for, told me I have to clock in and clock out exactly when I'm scheduled, and then wondered why everything fell apart. Those are fun to listen to as well. Okay. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4 space in between. Okay, so this. Okay, let's see. I guess I was a little off on that. It's like half a. There we go. That's better. Okay, so 1 stitch, 2 stitch, 3 stitch, 4 stitch. Okay. That's the second one. This is the top of the third one. Oh, sorry. I keep moving my needle too fast. Top of the third one. Top of the fourth one. So I would need to be here for there to be 4 in between. A little bit is actually like scared to skip steps since you have to count differently. like skip holes, you know. One, two. Actually, we're gonna undo that. Oh, really? Strands just stay together. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Under normal circumstances, I would just be like, "Ha! I'll jump this space and we'll go." But I am like so petrified of really messing this up because, like, the way the stitches are. What we're gonna do is something I don't normally do, and that is tie off and just go. Um, so we can either. Where's my mouse? Where's. Okay, there it is. We can either go like up into the M here, or we have a little bit of this tail from the E done too. We can go kind of back towards the E and then like head towards the beginning of the word, or we can start at the M and kind of go back towards the end of the word. I don't know that anybody really has a preference one way or the other. But I figure you guys are here. I can ask. Alex, you cut the bun. The boon sweet. I have a fair amount. I mean, I say a fair, but not really. I mean, of the M kind of done. So I guess we can start there. Because at some point I was like, I'm just not going to keep skipping. I'm going to find a way to kind of make this work. Okay, then is 2. I think Carrot said he's gonna give it to like the end of the week. I don't know. I still have Discord up. I can look. Oh, Steam too. Um, uh, just let me know when you accept the friend thing, do so, and I will add you to my little. I'll send you a invite thingy for the bongo cat. Like, okay, let me check then, because it didn't send me anything on Steam, but every once in a while Steam is weird. Okay, let me refresh. It might need. Ah, there we go. I guess I needed to refresh. I didn't think about. No, I just didn't think about needing to refresh the page because I was on it. Okay, and I sent you an invite to Bongo Cat. My brain didn't even think. Refresh. But I pressed what was I saying? Oh, I was saying how long Carrot's gonna leave the polls up. Oh, it's a 2-week poll. So for the craft along, oh, cute little kitty. Yeah, now your little kitty is next to my kitty. What's to say? Oh, he has it. It says like 13 more days left on the poll, and then that'll like put. I know that's why I would want you guys to be able to see him too. I've got to figure out how Sarcastic Kitten had them like on her screen for us to see, and maybe it's something super simple, and I'm just not like. I tried to do like game capture, but that was weird. Specific window. Let me. No, that's not gonna be it. I'm like trying to think of what like source it would be. Let me see if maybe it is game capture. Specific window, Bongo Cat. Yeah, that's what I was like. Oh, that must be how she did it. The allow transparency. Give me 1 second. There, now you can see me and oop, nope, that's not what I wanted. Bongo Cat, there we go. But I was like, yeah, that must have been what it was, like allow transparency. Because I just wasn't seeing them before. Like, I was like, this is black. It's going to be like all over the top. But then, yeah, you can see our kitties. Just ignore me being super excited that you can all see mine and Deuce's cat. But yeah, so if you guys, get it and you want to partake. So I thought that could be like a fun little thing we could have in the stream, like I could pin the code and whoever wants to join can join and we can have just a bunch of little kitties across the bottom. I mean, we could move them about too. They could be like down here. They don't have to be like, like I could make them slightly bigger if I depending on where I place them and things like that. So that way they're not like super tiny. And even at that, like, I can move them, like, wherever. That's what we could do. Okay, let me... Come on, mouse. Let's see. If I do this... We could have kitties right there at the top. Sorry, I'm trying to make them slightly bigger. But that requires, like, moving them around and stuff. So then, yeah. We can have little kitties all across the top. I might be a little too excited about this. But anyway, like I was saying, it could be fun. So depending on the... I'm calling it Craft Chopped. Because it's like, you know, the cooking show Chopped. Everybody gets the same ingredients, but what you make with those ingredients is completely different. So it's like the chopped version of crafting. Um Sorry, I stopped marking off on my pattern here. So depending on what the polls wind up with for the Crafttober, I will put like a couple different options in Discord and see what you guys, if you guys have a preference or if you don't care. Either way's fine. There are some that I like am definitely going to do no matter what from that cross stitching book, but you know, we can always find other crochet patterns and, you know, etc., etc. to go with Crafttober. This and this. I did it on. It's through the game itself. Is through Steam, so I can send you an invite, Kevin, through the game, through the little bongo cat thing. I sent you an invite, but it says you're away. But I sent it to you through Steam. Well, I sent it to you through the game, so I'm sure it invites you via Steam. We're gonna get everybody in on the cat madness. I've seen it several times on Steam, and I was like, what does this do? You know, like, does it just hang out there on the bottom? And literally, that's all it does. Is it just hangs out around near your toolbar, and as you click and do whatever you're doing during the day, it it counts the clicks and taps and all that, and then when you reach like 1,000, I think it is, it it gives you like a little prize. Like, hey, here's a new hat for your cat. Here's a new skin for your cat, like to change the color. And, you know, just a bunch of like nonsense. Here's a prize for doing your work, you know? But when I saw it on Sarcastic Kittens, I was like, oh my god, I never even thought about like having it on the bottom of your stream or like somewhere on your stream frame. But yeah. So we can have nonsense with the kitties. So one of Fantasy's friends who likes to do the D&D, well, it's really called the Tabletop Club, but I think all they do is play D&D, so I call it the D&D Club. At school, she doesn't live very far from us. So sometimes when one of her parents can't pick her up after school, I just take her home to her house. Like I pick them both up at the school and then I drop the girl off at home. And we were taking her home last week and we passed and this house and on the they had like a little box on the curb, you know, turned upside down, made it into a sign and it said free kittens and I was like, oh, free kittens. No, no more pets. No more pets. The Madam of the Night is enough. I don't need another cat. I think you have to do I don't think you can play it mobile. I think you have to be on like desktop. Um, yeah, sorry Kevin. I think it has to be mobile, but I'm not like 100% either. Okay, I am at the right spot. It did match up. I love when things match. Like, you know, where things are supposed to connect on your cross stitch and you're actually at the right spot. That's nice. I'm gonna have to like not do the full row though quite yet because I have to go up a little bit so that I can go down, which I know doesn't make much sense, but I have to finish going up the M so that way, you know, it's easier to go do 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 do. We had to shoo the neighbor's dog out of our yard last night at like 9:30 or something. There's a lot of like random cats in the neighborhood and we catch them on camera like all the time in our backyard, which I don't care that the cats are back there, you know, like that you see them walk, you know, on camera around the side back of the house or whatever. But I think the neighbor's dog had either like some kind of animal trapped underneath our shed because you could see him running around like the shed on the camera and kept trying to stick his nose like underneath the shed. So we had to go outside and chase him away so whatever he chased underneath the shed could get away. Okay, let us find somebody to raid into. So Thursday, I plan to. Oh, reach. Thursday, I plan to do this little bouquet set. Again, it's not very many pieces. It's like less than 400. And then we'll do more of something else. More of some craft. We can make another eyeball. We can, you know, work on a Cakealosaurus, whatever you guys want. I don't care. But we can do that, and then this, or we have a big diamond art I've been working on. We can work on that some more. But yes, let me find my mouse. Thank you, Dusa. And it won't go, like, just because I end stream, like, it will, no, Alex, listen. Real life always comes first. I completely understand. You're doing what you gotta do. I'm only sorry you have to do it. Okay, let me first see. Oh, Carrot's on. We can raid into Carrot, or Neo's on. Okay, okay, I can close those two tabs. Let's raid into Neo. I clicked the buttons and made myself do something. I don't know. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. I will, eventually. Yeah, that's why that's what I said. I'm only sad that you have to do it at all, because I know Joe likes that school, and that is not always the case with him, that he likes, school, period. So I'm only sorry that you have to even look for another one. Oh, Dusa, just because I end stream, it won't, like, cut the thing. You can stay connected and see my cat do whatever all day. That's what happened the other day when I was, in, the lobby for Sarcastic Kitten. I, like, went to bed and finally left the lobby, and there were still, like, 3 cats down at the bottom of my screen. Raid Neo. Oh. I thought I missed the T. News ads. It would not let me, like, press enter for some reason. Yep, I snoozed them real quick. I'm like pressing enter and nothing's happening. I don't know what was going on. But thank you everybody who hung out today. I hope you guys enjoy the little kitty clickety clacks. I appreciate everybody who came out, who hung out on Saturday into Sunday, or who was there Saturday and came back Sunday morning. I know by the end I was just, like, dead to the world. I was like, I don't care what you guys are doing. I don't even care what I'm doing. But thank you for everybody who hung out, whether it was 5 minutes or the whole time today, whether you talked, whether you didn't talk. I appreciate anybody. I especially, I understand the lurkies. I lurk most of the time without saying anything in most people's streams. So, and I know that I stream during the day, so people are at work. But I appreciate everybody who stops by, no matter the time or how much they talk. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week, whether, in between now and when I see you next. Your stream, my stream, somebody else's stream. I just hope you all have a good time. Nothing stressful. I know that already, like, Alex is like, nope, that's not me. But I hope you're able to find a new school for Joe that he likes. It did. It's up here. I don't know why I didn't type it. Oh, maybe because I did the wrong one. Let's try. I don't. Frosty, I don't know what he's doing. Oh, there we go. It will eventually come up. Yeah, I don't try to pretend I understand what's happening with Frosty like 95% of the time. But yes, have a great week, guys.